We're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution for a few moments. We're going to do it in two sections. I'll do some introductory remarks here, and then we'll talk about the Transportation Revolution in the United States specifically. This is such a huge topic, you have to be necessarily selective in what you're going to discuss. I'll refer you to the images there on D2L. You'll notice that there's oddly, it must seem, a map here of the Roman Empire at its height. I want you to contemplate this for a moment. You see in northwest Europe there at Hadrian's Wall in Great Britain, the border between England and Scotland. Now, let's say 2,000 years ago, at the height of the Roman Empire, that you were there at the border between England and Scotland, and you wanted to take a trip back to the capital of the empire, back to Rome. How long would it take you? 6 weeks, a couple of months. You'd have to either walk or get a horse or a cart to make your way from Scotland down to, let's say, London. Then you'd have to get a boat, and you go into the Thames, and the Thames out to the English Channel. And assuming you didn't drown in the Channel, you'd have to cross to France. And then you'd have to make your way across France, again, either walking or with a horse or a wagon. And then you'd have to make your way over the Alps and then down the Italian peninsula all the way to Rome. This would take a long time. Now, look at the next map there on D2L, and it's a map of Europe 1,800 years later, during the rule of Napoleon. And ask yourself the same question. How long would it take you to get from Scotland to Rome 1,800 years later? Well, it would take the same amount of time. Nothing's changed. You still have to get a horse or a cart. You still have to walk. You still have to make your way across France, over the Alps, etc., etc. Now, contemplate for a moment how long it would take you to get to Red China today. You could go to the airport, buy a ticket, and be in China sometime tomorrow. The Industrial Revolution is going to dramatically shrink time and space. This is probably the most general significance that I can give you for the revolution, because it makes our world much smaller. Now, I want to draw your attention to some of these images that we've listed here for you. You see cotton mills here. This is especially pertinent to the American South. The first industries that really become attached to the South are the cotton mills. You see in this first image a textile mill. You see women portrayed here as workers. And you'll notice they're wearing dresses. Of course, this is nonsense. To wear a dress in a cotton mill would be dangerous in the extreme. A dress gets caught in those gears, and the next thing you know, you're caught in the gears as well. But textile mills were considered acceptable places for women to work because cloth is generally gendered feminine. Look at this next image of the children playing on the, not playing, but working on the textile machines. And ask yourself, why would a textile mill manager have children working in the mill? There's a couple of reasons here. One reason is that the parents of the children need that extra 50 cents a week. These people are poor, and that extra 50 cents is valuable. For the manager of the mill, the children can maneuver their way around these large machines. You see this one little boy here is barefooted, almost like a monkey climbing on these machines. And if yarn or something gets stuck in a gear, these children can reach in with their small hands and remove that obstruction. So children are valuable for extra income, and they're valuable for the mill manager himself because of their maneuverability and small hands. Let's talk about some significances of the Industrial Revolution. The first, besides shrinking of time and space that I've already mentioned, would be the transition from handcrafted goods to mass production. Once you have mass production, the cost of goods goes down. Now, a second significance that goes right along with this, factory work requires a working class to do these jobs. So you're going to have millions of people leaving the farms and moving to the cities where the factories are located. This is a demographic shift of historical importance from rural to urban in the creation of urban centers and a working class in the cities. Another significance of the Industrial Revolution is the rapid creation of new products, chemical products, the move from iron to steel, steam power, whether it's steamboats or locomotives. What's going to happen here is you're going to slowly begin to connect the country, not only the United States, but you're going to slowly begin to connect the world through these new forms of power. Again, making the world smaller, making it cheaper and safer to move products. Another significance, the Industrial Revolution is going to help tie the Atlantic world together. European manufactured goods, American commodities are going to link Africa, Europe, the United States, North America, and South America, and a large network of trade, which of course has now been extended throughout the world. The Industrial Revolution is also going to hit the countryside. Pesticides are going to be created, which is going to increase the production of commodity crops, whether it's wheat or cotton or corn. The Industrial Revolution is going to create fertilizers, which is also going to enhance agriculture. I want to say another word here about the social impact of the Industrial Revolution. The creation of a large working class is new in not only American history, but in world history. This is going to create new problems. When you have urbanization, where you're cramming hundreds of thousands of working class people into mill villages surrounding a cotton mill or surrounding an industrial plant, think of the new problems that are going to emerge. You're going to have problems of hygiene. You need running water. You need sewers. And you're going to have health problems. What if typhoid gets loose in the mill village? What if cholera gets loose in the mill village? You're going to have transportation for the working class so they can access their jobs. There's going to be a whole variety of new and serious problems as you begin to cram hundreds of thousands of people that had lived on the farm. As you begin to compress them into cities, you're going to encounter novel problems that we've never faced before. I should mention that the Industrial Revolution, I don't know if you can put a date on it, but it really kind of takes off in the latter part of the 18th century in England with textiles. So even in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, you see the American South and its production of cotton is intricately tied to this larger Atlantic network of African slavery, European manufactured goods, and American commodities like cotton. I want to talk about another social impact of the Industrial Revolution, and that is, again, the creation of this urban working class is going to create pressure for the working class to improve their lot. Organization will come to these people and they will begin to form unions. In time, they will begin to take up political philosophies that will cause a lot of controversy, socialism and communism. When you think of Karl Marx, you'd have to place Marx in his historical context, which is the Industrial Revolution, and his critique of the social relations born of that revolution. So we're going to see genuine class division here, class warfare in some cases, and this is an important offshoot of the Industrial Revolution. Those are some good introductory remarks for this topic. When we come back, I'll discuss the transportation revolution specifically in the United States. Thank you.